Hello there, welcome to another morning video. Today we're going to speak about two things. One is learning and the other one is the 3 keys for results.
Yes, great to be back here again and looking forward to seeing you on the seminar tomorrow.
Great, so let's look at learning. What is learning? This is a super interesting topic to me. If I asked you to define what learning is, what would you say? I bet many of you who listens go blank because we're not trained to be clear on what learning actually means. I love this definition of learning. Learning is same situation, new behavior. Simple as that. It means when you have learned something, you come to a familiar situation and you behave differently. You do something differently because you had learning. Lots of us think we learn stuff when all we get was more information. We might have gotten some new models. We might have understood something so we can have different kind of conversations and look very smart. But we don't act differently at all in the same situations that we are in. And the way I like to see it, that if I don't do something different, I actually didn't learn anything really. I just entertained myself. Anything you want to add to this, Fi, as you're sitting?
Yeah, well, I'll give you an example of something that happened to us quite recently when we were sitting in the car. So where we live in the west coast of Sweden, we have a very small road that joins a pretty large road. And there's a tree and an electrical pole on our right-hand side of the car, which kind of obscures the road in a not so great way. Now, I've been very used to saying to Wilhelm when he's driving, clear. Which can be kind of helpful, but then he gets the idea just to pull out, as opposed to what happened in this situation. A car came zooming down the road and luckily enough he was going slow enough to stop, even though I'd said the word clear. So the next time we were driving together, what I said is, right, all clear. And he goes, good learning. Same situation, different behavior. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, because when Fi said clear the first time, I thought we're clear from any and all direction. But what Fi actually meant, from the right-hand side, we are clear. So then I obviously looked to the left and this time there was no car. So super simple. You learned something about how I listen when we are driving together. Now, in this program so far, you either have been learning some stuff and noticing you act differently in life. You find different results than you used to do. Even if you don't understand what you learned, or you can't explain exactly how you learned it, or you don't know if you could repeat that exactly the next time, you experience learning if you notice you're doing some things differently. Some of you, I'm sure, have appreciated your family members differently from our teaching last few days. Some of you are slowing down and giving yourself a little bit more grace when your inner dialogue speaks in a way to you that's not supportive. You might have gotten insights and perspectives that make you act differently at work. That's great, then you're learning. And if you're not noticing any behavior change in yourself, a really good question to ask is simply, well, what's the next action I can take? What next action would do something for me in terms of turning my power to production?
Can I add something there? Because one of the things that I've noticed in all of the programs that I teach is that there's two different kinds of people. And I know that's a little black and white, so forgive me for my black and whiteness. But one are people who are actually in the stands looking at the match going, yeah, might join in a minute. Yeah, it looks good. They're to really kick the ball to that forward over there. And so they're commenting and they're observing from the outside, from the stands is what we call it. And the other group of people are the people who are on the playing field. Yeah, they might not have kicked the ball to the forward in the corner either, but they're in there, they're doing it, they're learning in the moment, and they're just playing the game full out. And that's what we want for you. We want you to play the game full out so that you see this shift in your power. So you see this shift in life for yourself. And it's very easy to be on the stands. We've all done it. I've done it. Wilhelm's done it. But you know what? When you go down and play the game, there is such a different experience for you to be had.
Great. So 2 quick things and then we're going to switch topic. Now, all of you who tried the form for the 4 what, why, lesson, apply question have probably altered your behavior a bit when you study, because normally it's to study and study and study, and then that's it. Or you study, 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 and you share a little bit with somebody, right? Now you try to study and then actively reflect on your study. And that's learning, because now you're reflecting and writing in a way you might not have done before. Well, then you learn something. You behave differently. You stop and type on the keyboard for the 4 questions, and that's a new behavior. So that's great. You're learning things about reflection. Now, reflection is powerful when it turns insight and new perspectives into action. Yes. Remember, power is the ability to turn your intentions into results. And results is always about taking some action. No action, no result. So if you saw the seminar yesterday, in the end, myself and Lina had a little chat on her reflecting live from this seminar in the morning video. And her reflection ended with a very specific action. So when you do your reflections, stay until you get clarity on that last apply part. Apply means what action can I take to make a result from this insight that I had. And like Lina said, I will send my friend a text message, an SMS, and invite her to meet up on the weekend. And I'll do that today. Wow, it's a very specific action. And by that action, Lina will meet with her friend over the weekend or some other time when the friend can do it. And that didn't even occur before she started the reflection 5 minutes earlier. So all of you who are doing the form are learning to stop and reflect. Some of you are learning more and more to create results from your reflection, and then the next action is the key.
Might I say one very short thing,
Sure.
30 seconds? So sometimes what happens when we're reflecting is there's a pause or a space before we actually get clarity or a new insight or some wisdom. If I can invite you, because most people go 30 seconds, nothing's come. It's like, take a minute, take 5 minutes. Just let yourself wonder. Wonder what might be useful. Wonder what might help. Wonder what it is that could, create some more power or clarity in your life. In the wondering and allowing yourself just to move through life a little bit more, giving yourself 5 minutes, something new and fresh always does come up. And that's what you're waiting for. That's the piece of gold. So yeah, we can do it from our head, but you know what? What comes from your, let's call it your soul, your heart, whatever, from your clarity is going to be way more powerful for you when you take action on that.
Good point. You're not producing a reflection. That's not what you do when you type. You slow down enough and listen and notice what comes up when you dare to slow down and be quiet for a minute. That's what reflection is about.
Yeah. Cool.
Great. Now, taking action is all good, but what are the keys? And I often speak of 3 keys that ensure that action will be taken. Because without these 3 keys, you are not as likely to take action as if you got the 3 keys in place. And the 3 keys are structure, support, and stand. Taking a stand or committing. So when there is structure in place, there is support in place, and you have taken a stand, you committed yourself to something, you're way more likely to take action than if your commitment and support and structure is completely missing. Now, we speak a lot about living by the code. And we had a moment a couple of years back, a year and a half back, right?
A year and a half, yeah.
When I'll start the story and we will make it really short for the purpose of this video. But basically we were talking and Fee said to me something along the lines of, I think our marriage has become really, really ordinary, she said. And that was after about 7 years of marriage, right?
Yeah.
6.5, 7 years. And I heard her saying, I think our marriage has become really ordinary lately. And I said, you know what? I've been thinking the same thing. So that was us telling the truth to each other about how we felt about our marriage. it wasn't bad. We weren't arguing and fighting. It wasn't that we didn't want to be married, but we had this magic spark for years. I thought I was immune to ordinariness. We married 2016, and it's been a fabulous time. We're having fun. We're deeply connected. There is joy present. I thought we're above this. Other people have to deal with this ordinariness. And yeah, I got it. So we both had this feeling that we lost something, right?
Yeah.
Now, here we had a choice. And luckily we're trained in using what we teach, or we live from what we teach. So we said, well, are we going to get a commitment in place then? Because without a commitment to an extraordinary level and quality in the marriage, it won't happen. So we both committed to creating something we call extraordinary, right? Then what do we need? Well, some structure and support wouldn't hurt, right?
Did not.
So in terms of structure, what have we taken on to ensure we keep working on our marriage? Doesn't sound right. We keep exploring how to have spark and a sense of being extraordinary with each other in our marriage.
So,
Want to share that?
yeah, sure. So
Cool.
what we took on was to do a marriage reflection every Sunday. So we go to this little cafe that we love. We tend to bring the dog, sometimes not the dog, but we sit down for maybe an hour and a half and we just look at a couple of things in our marriage. And the first thing that we do is we appreciate each other in the last week. So what I'm doing when I'm actually speaking to Wilhelm is say, I appreciate you for this and for this and for this and for this. And he comes back and said, and this is what I appreciate you for. And it's very heartfelt. It's not like, oh, let me tick the box. And there are lots of things when we do the appreciation that Wilhelm doesn't even know really?
Wow,
Did that,
really?
Yeah,
Was
did that matter to
meaningful
you?
for you?
Yeah.
And Fie goes, oh yeah, that mattered a lot. And I was, oh, I could do more of that then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I read about this marriage review in a book years back, and I brought it up with you and suggested, hey, should we do this? It felt really awkward the first time, like, let's sit down and review our marriage. It's like, but since I'm all for learning and translating insights into specific results, we took it on, and we've done it for a year and a half or something, right?
Yep.
More. Yep. And we rarely missed a week. We maybe missed 5 times in a year and a half. So we look at appreciation.
Then we rate the quality of our marriage for that week out of 10.
Yeah. So from 1 to 10, how do I experience the quality of our relationship? Now, it's not 1 to 10, how did you do? That's not what we do. But I remember once you said, so I rated like an 8.5, you said. And I said, oh, wow, I rate the quality this week about a 6, because I was grumpy in the middle of the week and I wasn't a really nice husband in terms of being inspired and stuff on Wednesday, Thursday. And you said, well, that wasn't bad. You were just tired. So I was like, oh, that's cool. So it goes back and forth. And then simply we could say, how could we create a 10-point week or a really great week for the next week?
Yep.
And if we stay there, there's way more you could do. But for time purposes also, we don't want to drag on too long. If you just stop and appreciate each other every week, you get to listen to how the other person experiences the quality of the relationship with a fact. Remember the facts, the number. And you listen to, and we're honest about how we feel. And then we find a relevant focus for the next week. You hear living by the code is here underneath this. How do we feel? What were the facts in terms of quality? And what's a relevant focus going into next week? Just stop and look at this. It's fun, it's extraordinary, and we had, I think, 3 or 4 10-point weeks over the year and a half. So we're pretty restrictive with those points also. And you had the playfulness, right? And something else we did this year, we took on to create a memorable experience every month for our marriage. We create something every month that is memorable. So we went to a John Mayer concert in Copenhagen, we went to the Düsseldorf boat show, we just took a night at the Coast Hotel in the spring and just did something together. And we create something on a monthly basis that consciously is a new behavior than to what we used to do when it was kind of ordinary. So that's the commitment. And it takes commitment, right?
And the structure.
That was the structure. It's a weekly structure.
Yeah.
And support, well, we don't have anybody externally support us, but we have agreed that we can support each other. So when Fee says, oh, is it time to do the reflection? I don't go, no, I don't feel like it. Oh, no, it's like, okay, well, thanks for reminding me. If we're not going to that breakfast cafe on a Sunday, and we sometimes talk in the car or we do it, whatever we do. Now, our commitment and having the structure of a weekly and monthly activity and supporting each other has produced results. I don't know when the ordinariness disappeared, but it's not been there for a long time now, a year, I'd say, right? Yeah. So this was to illustrate that when you commit, you create structure and support and take action, results happen that would not happen otherwise. So to sum this up today, learning is same situation, new behavior. Look and see what new behavior can you take from listening to this video or participating in the seminar yesterday. And if you're interested in results, and we're going to expand on this in tomorrow's seminar quite a bit. Do you have a commitment in place? Do you have structure and support enough for you to win? And if not, what could you set up in terms of structure and support for yourself?
We want you to win. We want you to get your power back. See you tomorrow.
Yes, and use the reflection tool now and see if you can end it with a very specific action that helps you go forward into producing some results that you want. So thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow morning.